Hello, my lovely viewers. Let's quickly look at the question on the board which says find the solution of the equation. The equation we have here is x plus 2 root x minus 8 equal to 0. The first thing I need to do here is to move positive x and minus 8 to the left hand side of this equation so that I'll be left with only 2 root x in the right hand side. Again, y. Let's move, then move. So we have 2 root x is equals to 8. The sign of x we change to minus. We are left with only 2 root x equals to 8 minus x. Then we need to move this root. And to move this root, we need to square both sides. Squaring both sides, we have 2 root x all square equals to 8 minus x all square. 2 square is 4, and the square of the square root of x is x. Reason is because the square of the square root of a number is that number itself. I hope it's clear. Good. So here we have 8 minus x bracket 8 minus x raised to power 2. It means that this is twice. Multiply itself twice. Quickly, we expand this using direct expansion. 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times minus x will give us minus 8x. Minus 8 times x will give us minus 8x. Minus x times minus x will give us plus x squared. So we are left with 64 minus 8x minus 8x will give us minus 16x plus x squared. The highest power of unknown here is 2. Definitely, this question will lead us to quadratic equation. And 64 minus 16x plus x squared is equals to 4x. So rearranging, I'll have this as x squared minus 16x plus 64 equals to 4x. Nothing changes because a equals to b is also implies b equals to a. Nothing changes. So next thing we'll do now, I'll move this 4x to go and meet minus 16x. Okay, so we have x squared minus 16x minus 4x plus 64 equal to 0. As you can see now, we have this as x squared minus 16x minus 4x will give us minus 20x plus 64 equal to 0, which is a quadratic equation. And because the coefficient of x squared is a unit number, we move straight to introduce 2 brackets. Once you introduce 2 brackets, what you need to do after introducing the 2 brackets, write your variable x. Then concentrate on the last term and the coefficient of the middle term. The next thing we need to do now, the last term is plus 64. We need to look for 2 factors of the last term such that their sum will give us minus 64 and their product will give us plus 64. So the 1 is the factor of one number, 2 go here, 32, then 4 go 16. 4 and 16 can go. But the issue here is that here is minus and we have positive 4 and 16. Then we need to consider a simple rule here. And that rule is, since the sign of the last term is positive and the sign of the middle term, coefficient of the middle term, is negative, it implies that the 2 factors that you are looking for, both will bear negative sign. Okay? For this to be true, minus 4 times minus 16 will give us plus 64 because minus times minus is plus. and minus 4 minus 6 will give us minus 20, the coefficient of middle term. Then you go back and replace the two found factors inside the bracket, which is minus 4 and minus 16. After that, next one is to solve the equation. This implies that x minus 4 equal to 0 or x minus 16 equal to 0. So for the first one, s is equals to 0 plus 4 or s equals to 0 plus 16. Finally, s is equals to 4 or 16. And that is the solution of this question. If you find the video interesting, you can comment, you can like, you can share, you can contribute and write your question in the comment section. Thank you.